Well, hello, and welcome to the PJH Writing Command Center for another podcast episode from God Bless the Keg Publishing, LLC. Woohoo! All right, and I am Paul John Hausleben of God Bless the Keg Publishing, LLC. I am the flagship author, chief photographer, music reviewer, music critic, podcast host, do everything guy here, front of the house, back of the house, with a little help from my friends. And the friends are here today, gathered for this very exciting podcast episode. So we have these friends. Hiya, friends. How's everybody today? But we also have a special guest star here today, and I'll get to that. And if you are a first-time tuner inner to the podcast, if that's even a word, then welcome. If you're a long-time listener, a follower, a reader of my books, then welcome back. Either way, we're just thrilled you're here to join us for this podcast episode. Thank you so much. And this is going to wrap in with our world-famous guest star that we have today. So get your little Orphan Annie decoder pins out, because this is very important. And this, let me know when you're ready. You got them? So this podcast is proudly sponsored by Corporate Facilities Group Incorporated, the leader in technical consulting, facilities maintenance, facilities management, and operations, as well as property maintenance and management services throughout America. And now, CFG Incorporated is proud to announce a new department, a new initiative, headed up by the amazing Mr. Steve McMillan. Let's give it up for old Steve Aruski there, fans and folks and friends. And Steve brings his many years of experiences as he manages pre-construction services and estimating for residential development, residential renovations, and light commercial projects for CFG Incorporated. So, before you spend big bucks on a project, let old Steve Aruski check out the contractor scope and price and make sure your hard-earned money is going in exactly the right place. Check them out on the web at www.corporatefacilitiesgroupthefigure1.com. That's www.corporatefacilitiesgroupthefigure1.com. And many thanks to Lydia, Steve, Liliana, Summer the dog, and Smokey the kitty cat at CFG Incorporated for sponsoring this podcast. We love you guys down here. Beautiful Marietta, Georgia. Oh. And why is that so special? Well, we have a surprise guest here. We actually have the world-famous Steve McMillan here at the PJH Writing Command Center. And I'm going to open up his mic, and here we go. Steve.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am fantastic.
And welcome to the world-famous, or not-so-world-famous, PJH Writing Command Center. How you doing?
I'm good. I got to say, it's pretty world-famous in here. It's pretty world-famous.
Yeah, so we're really excited to bring Steve on the podcast. He's here on business and cutting through swampy Richmond, Virginia here in the thick of the dog days. So it's very exciting. We're going to talk a little bit about CFG, who's been a loyal sponsor of the podcast for, the year and a half we've been doing this, and what Steve does for CFG, but also get into, he's a great musician and he has a musical background, and talk about what he's done in his musical career as well as with his bandmates, and just have a little quick fun here. So we're really happy Steve's here to join us. So, but I also have a Goodwill announcement, and please, if you have any charity functions, you have Goodwill events, any not-for-profit that you'd like Paulie to mention here on the podcast, please send it ahead. God Bless the Keg Publishing at gmail.com. Please keep in mind it is a weekly podcast for the most part. So keep in mind your dates and events. Give me plenty of time to vet it out and then announce it. But if you are in Southern New Jersey and you have a loved one ending the near life and you need hospice care or palliative care, please consider Samaritan of Southern New Jersey. Samaritan of Southern New Jersey chooses comfort, support, and dignity, as well as the help that loved one needs. Samaritan provides support through a team of experts, including physicians, nurses, social workers, certified home health aides, spiritual support counselors, bereavement counselors, and volunteers. This team is always ready to answer your questions, offer counsel, help with advanced directive, provide pain and symptom relief, warm beds, warm baths, and so much more. Contact them 856-596-1600. and they're available 24/7. Or check them out on the website at www.samaritanNewJersey.org. Thank you very much. And if you have any comments, other suggestions, you want to yell at me, you want to tell me I'm a bum, then just send it to that same email address, and we're happy to receive it. So, Steve, welcome again.
Thank you.
And CFG has been a podcast sponsor, and it's near and dear to my heart as well as to yours. So maybe tell the listening audience, I always go through the same spiel here. I've got my little text here, Proud to announce a new department, a new initiative headed up by the amazing Mr. Steve McMillan.
You got it.
Tell everybody a little bit about, what's Steve about and what do you do for CFG?
Well, I have been renovating old houses for many, many years, close to 20 years, and I have built several new houses.
Okay.
And so I have taken everything that I've learned and kind of created a system where I can help clients. I can be an advocate for a client. I can help walk them through the process of dealing with architects, dealing with permitting, which is always a lot of fun.
Right.
Handling subcontractors and subcontracts, estimating materials, takeoffs,
budgets,
plan reading, creating a full budget, a full scope of work, and really just walking a client through the process and advocate on them to help, if we move to the next part of building, I can help them select a builder, or they could just take whatever I develop and take that package and go on their way.
Interesting. So I know you did a lot of historic renovations, right? Historic homes, residents, Buckhead area.
Buckhead area in Atlanta, a lot of pre-World War II homes.
Okay. Is that the era? How far back are some of these historic renovations and residences?
I think the oldest one that I worked on probably early 1900. I think it may have, the building may have started in the late 1800s and then it was finished, I think, in 1902.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what would, in your experience, what classifies a residence? And I have a little experience myself. Most of mine was in upstate New York, in the Albany area. And Albany was one of the oldest cities settled in America. Henry Hudson coming up the Hudson River and the Half Moon and all that stuff. I want to say it goes back to the 1600s, 1698 or something like that. Albany's very old. So a lot of old residences up there in Colony and Guilderland. So what would really classify one of these homes that you did all these renovations on as historic? I mean, is there like a preservation society or something?
In Atlanta, some of the houses fall under a I don't know what they're called, but yes.
Like a preservation society, yeah.
Not all the houses that we do. It's just where they're built. It could be the architect of the time that built them.
Right.
A well-known architect from the area.
And I picture, for some reason in my mind, and this might be incorrect, Gone with the Wind, these sprawling southern mansions. Is that not the case, really?
No, it is. I mean, we're talking about in town Atlanta, so they're not these huge plantation homes, but
right.
It's the same style. It's that whole Georgia revival type style home. They're grand and they're beautiful. They're not huge, and some of them are, and they're not on big pieces of land because they are in town,
right?
Atlanta.
And would you say not huge? What kind of square footage are you talking about on an average? I mean, do they have 10 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms or what?
Not necessarily.
Right.
Anywhere between 3,000 to 6,000 square feet. So
well, that's pretty big. Yeah.
It's not. It's. I mean, in today's houses, it's really not that big. That's
right.
It seems like that's a starter home for now, right now. But
you are in the writing command center where I have 3 pieces of furniture, Steve.
Yes.
But so I'm interested in things like bathrooms. Did these homes originally have running water, or did they have outhouses? I mean, how did this kind of, did they have piping? Is this things that were added, these amenities added as the residents progressed?
I think the houses in town Atlanta all had, as far as I know, they had running water, and they had sewer systems. They had all the amenities back then. They were the top of the houses being built.
Gotcha. And I know that the homes that I did, Historical Preservation Society, was very stringent in New York. And I can remember we had to do a porch. We had to do this porch that was rotted away on one of these homes. And we had to actually get a die maker, and we took a mold of the railings because we had to duplicate the railings exactly as the originals were. So we had to find like a baluster, a piece of the railing that wasn't too rotted away, and we made a mold, and we took it to a wood shop, a woodsmith, and with lathes, and they actually had to recreate it from the blueprints they made from that mold because the society said, no, you just can't go to, the home improvement store and put off the shelf thing. It has to be exactly the detail of what was originally there. So, and these had the porticos because they went back before automobiles, where there was horse and carriages, and they had a maid's quarters out in the back, and they had the outhouse, and they had the servants' quarters, and maybe like a garden thing, carriage house to take care of, and then there was a gardener's quarters where he had his workshop, because a lot of these homes, they grew their own veggies and all kinds of stuff like that. So it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. So, but for CFG, you're doing more modern stuff, right?
Well, yeah. For CFG, I'll pretty much do whatever a client needs. I will meet with them and ask what their needs are, and we'll just walk through it. If it's an old home, that's great. If it's a new home, that's great. I've done so many of them. We can really flush this thing out and come up with a really nice package.
Nice. For them. Yeah. Nice. And so how did you get started in the business, Steve?
Started in the business of
construction. What spawned your interest? You were a product of trade school? No, I don't think so.
I was not.
I think you were taught by a relative or a friend.
Yeah. So to go way back, growing up, probably 12 or 13 years old. My stepdad is an old floor guy, and he's finally just recently retired, but that was my summer job, through my early teens. And he actually taught me how to read a set of blueprints and do takeoffs and use a scale and all of that. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then as I grew, I just kind of went from trade to trade. I think when I stopped doing that, one of my first jobs out of high school was I went and worked for a framer and framed some houses. So construction trade is a very easy trade to work in and go in and out of work, and also be a musician at the same time.
We're going to get to that.
The lifestyles complement each other, because I think a lot of old carpenter guys are old musicians, so they understand.
So here at God Bless the Keg Publishing LLC, we do a lot on the podcast in music. And we have what we call the rated series, where we do rated of music. And it could be, I think the last one was the 5 best songs of the Electric Light Orchestra. And before that, we had the world famous Frankie T and the world famous Jeff. And they came on here, and we did they rated. I sat that one out of the 5 best session musicians and groups of all time. So we have a lot of fun with music. It's a big part of my life, as you know, and writing music reviews years ago and having a blog and all those things. So I'm fascinated. I've heard your music. I've listened to you. You just put your latest band on my Spotify. So I'm really anxious to spin that. And I have spun over the years and correct me, it might have been your second band, Baleen. Was that the second?
Yep.
So tell the listeners, I know you play multi-instruments, but I think you're primarily a bass player.
Correct.
Okay. And so how did you, what are your musical interests? I know I've heard the story about Pink Floyd, something about being a little boy and Dark Side of the Moon. So let's hear about that.
Well, my dad was a huge Pink Floyd fan. He was a huge music fan altogether.
Right.
So we always had good music playing around the house. He had the reel-to-reels. He had the record player. There was always music laying around, musicians coming to the house, playing guitars, harmonicas.
And did he play instruments?
My dad did not.
He did not,
No.
just a music fan.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a music fan. And he would tell me this story, and then he was actually like you. He's not that you're not professional, but he was a pretty good photographer. So
Right.
he liked to take a lot of photos and develop them himself. And he took a picture of me one day. I had to have been, it's a classic picture. Maybe 5,
Right.
maybe younger, but I was wearing cowboy boots, overalls. I'm sitting with my back up against the wall, and there's vinyl all over the floor.
Wow.
Some of them you could see the titles. There's a stack of 8 tracks in the background. There's
Right.
an old they used to call them, you probably know, a lawyer's chest.
Yeah.
Was in the background, and you can see on the inside, like the bottom sash of it was kind of open and slid up, and there was like I don't know, like 5 or 6 of these Psychology Today magazines spread out on the floor. I'm sitting on shag carpet, and it's black and white, and I got these giant old headphones on.
Okay.
And it's got the curled up
The coil cord.
cord coming out of it. My dad said that I would just sit there and request to put on Pink Floyd. It didn't have to be Dark Side of the Moon. It was anything Pink Floyd. And he said I would just sit there for hours in the headphones, just rocking back and forth, listening to Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Wow. Some psychedelic prog rock. Huh?
Oh yeah.
So is that your influence now?
I mean, it's one for sure.
Okay.
It's absolutely one, but I have many influences, from jazz to heavy metal to,
Okay.
English, prog rock, whatever. I'm a fan of all types.
And you play the bass guitar, right? But don't you also play acoustic and electric and tinkle the keyboards? I know you play the drums a little bit
And the
too.
drums, yeah. I try to mess around with a little bit of everything.
Do you have a preferred bass instrument manufacturer? Are you a Rickenbacker guy?
I got a jazz P bass.
Oh, a jazz P bass.
5
Okay.
string, yeah.
All right. So are you...
That's my favorite right now.
That's your favorite. So if you had a bass player that would be, one of your favorites that you would go to listen or be a mentor to, or you anybody? Do you pick somebody out?
I always go back. So there's the story of Pink Floyd, and I think about how I fell into music that way. But coming of age, I think, and you may or may not know this guy, but his name is Cliff Burton.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he really got me to look at the bass a completely different way.
Okay. In what way?
Well, it's just the way that it could be played.
Okay.
He played it rhythmically, but he he sat in the pocket when necessary, but he also played it very melodically.
Okay.
Also.
All right.
For those that don't know, that's the original bass player to Metallica.
Right.
Phenomenal bass player.
So, I don't play the bass. Before hockey destroyed my fingers, I was a 3-4 chord wonder on the 6 string and 12 string.
You could do a lot with those chords.
And I could tinkle the keyboards. I played a harmonica pretty well. I played a xylophone. I also play the kazoo really well. So I'll spare you that moment. We've played it on the podcast a number of times, but I'm nowhere near musician capabilities like you are. So, my when I study music, and I listen to everything, but prog rock is a big influence and love of mine. And my favorite bass player is Chris Squire. Yes. And his giant hands with that plucky sound, which was just amazing. And he mostly played a Rickenbacker. And you know, a song like Yours Is No Disgrace from the Yes album, where Chris is leading everything. He's not just a rhythm with Billy Bruford on drums. He is absolutely leading the whole song with the melody. So I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And of course, Geddy Lee
Yep.
with Rush, who styled his playing after Chris Squire type thing. So, yeah. So bass is in my opinion, is always an underappreciated instrument.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it's an absolute necessity.
It is. You know, it's not just rhythm. A guy like Chris Squire decides to go off and he's just leading everything. It's just amazing. You know, and another example, even though I'm a huge, I like Fleetwood Mac in the Peter Green era, not so much in the Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, but of course the song The Chain, where John McVie is leading that melody with that little interlude with that bum 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 bum. Everybody knows that. So yeah, you got that bass, and it is an underappreciated instrument. So absolutely. I know you have some other influences. I know you're a Radiohead guy.
Yeah, I am. I'm just kind of a fan of that whole genre of music, really. I don't know why it speaks to me. That whole, what would you call that genre? It's like soundtracky, soundscapey, kind of English rock, but I don't exactly know how you would classify it. But yeah, it really speaks to me. And I guess it goes back to my days of early Pink Floyd listening to. Right. Some people might call it shoegazer music. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of that term. But yeah, big fan of Radiohead.
You like the voice of Tom York too, right?
Yeah.
Not for everybody.
No, yeah.
Like Geddy Lee. Like Geddy Lee.
Yeah, definitely not for everybody. But so to me, Radiohead it's Radiohead as a whole. You know, they're all great musicians. They all have great parts, but it's the way that they put it together. And you see them in concert a number of times, right? Yeah, I've seen them a few times. I've seen Tom York's side project a couple of times. They're all just phenomenal, and when they come together, it's even better. Right. When they put it together. Yeah. So
tell us about your band. So you married up with a bunch of buds, right? And you're originally from Chicago, right?
Originally from Chicago.
And then you moved when you were a teenager to North Carolina?
I was a tweenager.
Okay.
I was like 12. Moved from Chicago to Charlotte and lived in Charlotte for probably from when I was 12 to I was basically 30. And then I moved to Atlanta.
Okay. So you had some buds that you played with.
Yeah. And from probably pretty early on in my early 20s, I've played with a lot of people. But in my early 20s, there's a group of us that kind of we would be in and out of bands together, you know, playing together in some form or fashion. Baleen was one of those that we got pretty serious. We traveled and played our saxophone player, the famous Tony McCullough.
Tony McCullough. Hey, friends, what do you think of Tony?
He liked to say that we made it onto the Chitlin circuit.
All right. What is that?
That means that you play some of the clubs that pretty diehard music fans would know. Okay. But we never made it to like the smaller stadiums.
Gotcha. Okay. So what were the names of some of these clubs? Where were they, Steve?
All up and down the East Coast and out to Chicago. I don't think we made it past Chicago. St. Louis, I think, as far as we made it. But you got the Cat's Cradle in Chapel Hill, which is a pretty popular place. A lot of people on that same circuit play. Tremont Music Hall in Charlotte, Visualite Music Theater in Charlotte, not here in Atlanta, but in Atlanta, Dark Horse Tavern, Masquerade Lounge. I know a lot of people remember that place. Places like that. CBGB's up in New York. I'm sure a lot of people know.
Absolutely. You talked about the Stone Pony in Asbury.
Yeah, Stone Pony.
One of my haunts.
Yeah. Place in DC that's kind of on that same circuit. State of the Union, I believe is the name of that place. Blue Note in Chicago.
And so this was your band Baleen, and what was Baleen playing?
This would be Baleen and another band.
Okay.
Experiment.
Okay.
So if you can find either one of those on any kind of streaming music service, go check them out. They're both pretty good. But it was a combination of the same guys in different ways at different times.
And who was writing the music?
We all would write the music.
Collaborative, yeah.
Which would some people would say that was kind of a reason why we never made it over the top. We had multiple singers, so that was another reason that people say we got kind of stuck in a place.
And were you playing psychedelic prog rock at that point? With the Pink Floyd influences, or you weren't playing like power pop or anything?
No, Experiment was exactly what the name is. It was experimental jazz, funk,
gotcha.
rock,
okay, interesting.
Punk. I mean, it was everything.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
And how many members of the band? What did you have? Keyboard, you mentioned a sax player, bass, obviously.
So we had keys, bass, sax, guitar,
drums.
and actually, you know what? In Experiment, we didn't have a guitar player, drums, and we had a DJ.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Wow.
So that was good.
Yeah, very cool.
And then we met these guys from Baleen that we would kind of trade shows with. They were from Chapel Hill. We were from Charlotte, and we'd trade shows, and everybody got to like each other. So we kind of, some of their guys joined Experiment, and some of Experiment joined Baleen and kept it separate, but we still played together. And, yeah.
So the whole time you're also, because you're a starving artist, you're also doing your carpentry and learning your trade and actually making some money, right? Yeah.
Because when you're not out playing,
right,
on some sort of tour, it's carpentry and any type of construction it's just easy to go back and jump into.
Sure, absolutely. So what prompted the move? I never really thought of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlotte, being a northern guy, being a Jersey guy, everything heavily concentrated. Of course, the Jersey Shore scene with Springsteen and Southside Johnny and all that. But, I'm close to Greenwich Village and parts of Connecticut. So never really associated Charlotte as being a music city.
Well, I mean,
what was happening down there? Chapel Hill, of course, you got University of North Carolina. So
yeah, it's not a huge music city. It's come a long way. That's one of the reasons why I think that we left Charlotte when we got a bit older. Everybody was starting to push 30.
Right.
And that's in that world, that's considered older.
Right.
So we knew that we had to either give it a good push if this is what we're going to do, if we're going to, this is where the hill that we're going to die on.
Right.
Probably wasn't going to be in Charlotte. So we had the infamous band meeting. And everybody agreed that let's do this thing, let's make it happen. And we had connections up in New York.
Right.
We had connections in Atlanta, and we had no connections out in California, but that was another place we were considering going.
Right.
And I think out of probably a safety factor, we all chose Atlanta because it was close to
your family,
home,
close to home. You could get back to and get back to your family and safe haven. Yeah, I get it. So
and Atlanta's a great music town.
It is.
We were playing in Atlanta all the time, and we were playing with some great bands and trading shows back and forth between Atlanta and Charlotte. So it made sense.
Yeah, and I lived in Atlanta almost 4 years. So it absolutely floored me when I first got there, coming from the hotbed of where I was down to Atlanta, how fantastic a music scene it is. And there's so much vibing in Atlanta, be it the sports scene, although the college sports seem to be so fervent as opposed to, professional sports. Yeah. Of course, the Braves are big down there. The hockey, we were talking about the Thrashers and the Flames that always kind of flamed out, for lack of a better word. But the music scene's fabulous. Yeah. It really is fabulous. Yeah. And for me, you know, we had Newark. We had a lot of jazz clubs downtown Newark and all this stuff going on. We go over to Greenwich Village and there was the Limelight and all these smoky little cocktail bars and all this stuff going on with music and jam sessions, be it jazz or jazz fusion or rock or whatever. So I really, when I got to Atlanta, I was really impressed by it. So, so you're in Atlanta and you're trying to make a go with this, and then your future wife Lydia comes along, right? So, and Lydia was your vocalist, right?
She sang on some of the stuff. So Lydia moved from New York almost in the same month that we moved from Atlanta, but we did not know each other.
Gotcha.
We just kind of both relocated to Atlanta. Lydia had a sister in Atlanta, so she was looking for change. So her sister convinced her to come down. During this move, and maybe a little bit before the move, her sister, Lydia's sister, was dating Tony, the famous Tony McCullough.
The fans love the name. They love the name.
Tony McCullough.
I got to put him in one of my books.
You should. He is the guy's book worthy. He definitely is.
We'll get Tony on the podcast.
Yeah. So he was dating Lydia's sister at the time.
Right.
And she would come over and we had the band house, you know,
Yeah,
you got the band house, you
yeah.
rehearse in the basement. We all lived there.
Yeah.
And she would come over and hang out and just, you know, chill and listen to the rehearsals.
Right.
And hang out with Tony. And one time after Lydia had moved in with her, she told Lydia, she said, "Hey, come along. I think you should come hang out, check these guys out. I think you'll love them." She came to a band practice.
Yeah.
One band practice, and that was kind of it for us.
Right.
You know, that story has written itself.
Yeah, and a remarkable voice, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
She's got a great voice.
Yeah, and the one record that got released, Have Your Say, was it?
Yeah, it's single, Have Your Say.
And it's not anything like any music you guys play, right?
No. That's all her. That we didn't release. She did that with our guitar player. They did that together.
Yeah, he wrote it, right?
He wrote the whole thing. He played all the instruments, produced it, mixed it, everything.
Wow, yeah, it's remarkable. And she did it one take, right? She just belted it out.
Oh, you know.
Or was it dubbed a little bit?
It was definitely, there was a one take straight through. I don't think it was the first take.
Gotcha,
You know?
okay.
But then she did all her own background vocals too, and there's layers and layers.
Layers
of
are layers. So this gentleman has some engineering and producing abilities too.
And that his name is Mike Vagianos.
Okay, Mike.
Also famous.
All right. Well, we got to give Mike the old. The fans love him.
I wish I knew the name of his publishing company.
So Mike writes and produces and publishes his own music and does everything.
And for other musicians still in Charlotte.
Oh, good for him. So
Ends Meet Media.
Okay, Ends Meet Media.
Yeah,
okay.
Check that out.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So Mike, obviously a talented guy. So, and so where are you right now in your music? I know you got all this stuff going on, CFG, and your daughter's this, got to be this fantastic.
Famous soccer player, yeah.
Got to be, and it's just awesome. So where are you in music world?
So where I've settled now is myself, Mike Vagianos.
Yep.
Who I just talked about.
Right.
Phil Disher, who is drummer, percussion, musician extraordinaire, also production and mixologist or whatever you want to call him. And then Brian Wingett, who is an original way back member of early Baleen stuff. So what is that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the 4 of us over the years we don't play out.
Right.
We get together a couple of times a year, go run off to the mountains, load up all the equipment, musical equipment, hang microphones from the ceilings all over the place, and just hit the record button and just record.
Nice.
And then we play back and we listen to it, and some things may turn into songs, some things may stay straight improv.
Right.
But that is what we are called. It's called Ghost Tone Echo.
Ghost Tone Echo, which is what you put on my Spotify.
That's what I put on your Spotify.
I have to check it out. I'm going to spin it.
So that's Spotify. I believe it's Apple Music, Amazon, anywhere you can stream music, it's out there.
Okay. And is this more psychedelic prog? Is it Pink Floyd influence? What is the genre here?
It's Pink Floydy. It's yeah. I mean, it could be anything. You can go down the road. It's Talking Heads.
Okay.
It could be anything. It's just really somebody will just start a groove, and then everybody just kind of falls in line. And
so is there music? Do you anybody write music? Are you writing it on notation sheets, or are you
everybody's all by ear.
Everybody's by ear. Okay.
And so what we do is we take this stuff and we listen back to it, and then we cut it up and see what goes with what. Then mostly Phil will go back to his laboratory, and
so he's the mad scientist.
Like this laboratory,
yeah.
And he'll sit there and really kind of tweak things. So it's like it's not really written. We don't ever really go back to it. You know? Sometimes we do if it's something we really like and want to work on. Mostly it's just improv stuff, and we kind of see where it goes. And and he'll do some level stuff, mixing some different levels. And
fascinating.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Check it out.
That is fascinating.
Check it out.
Do you ever do covers, Steve? Are you a cover band? Will you say, hey, I really want to do this, but because of this piece is special to me, or whatever?
I would absolutely love to do some acoustic stuff with my wife, Lydia.
Okay. All right.
You would think that, we have all of the instruments in our house. We have the little studio in our house and everything.
You have some recording equipment, if I remember.
We do. But yes, she's a fantastic singer, and I hear her voice on a lot of sultry voice. She's got many voices, but she's got a great sultry voice.
Yeah. I love when she sings Hallelujah. Yeah. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's the voice I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we have a list of songs that we have written down, and over the years we have gone and done some of them, but it hasn't really turned into anything. And some of the songs on that list are like Bruce Springsteen. And
all right, what Springsteen would you do?
Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of the song.
Okay,
don't ask me names.
Some Tom Petty.
What's the name of it? You know the song.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about Springsteen before. So Tom Petty do what? American Girl or something? Or some of his other stuff, some of the slower stuff.
I'm so bad with names.
It's okay. It's all right.
I can think of that.
So when you say acoustic, is it just going to be you on guitar?
Me on guitar, and her singing is kind of what I've had in my mind. And we live in a great place. We live very close to Marietta Square.
Right.
We would do this for nothing but fun, but just go play at some of the, with all of the restaurants in the square always have.
Yeah, it's a lovely
somebody
place.
Out there, playing music. And
we've mentioned it on the podcast a number of times. I did a classic photo shoot there one time, and I took a picture. It was one of my most famous best-selling pictures of a fantastic Georgia oak there.
Yeah. Just
this fantastic structure, this beautiful tree, and I shot it in color. And then I was smart enough to shoot it in black and white, because if you shoot structure, be it a tree, a human body, anything with structure in black and white, it just is absolutely amazing. I've done some forest shots with sunlight, and it's an okay shot when you have it in color, but when you switch over to black and white, it's like you just a whole new world. So I know the Marietta Square, it's just a lovely place. So I could picture you guys there. And now, would this be acoustic guitar?
Yeah, just acoustic guitar. Very simple. Very simple.
Yeah, so you would just pick some of these acoustic songs. And I'm an acoustic guy, so if you need any recommendations, you let me know.
Hey, let me get some, for sure.
I would say Springsteen, Brilliant Disguise is a good one for Lydia's voice. Yeah. I think it would be a good key for her. So, well, that's very exciting. And I know you guys, and is your daughter, is Liliana into the music?
She loves the music. She is a fantastic little singer. She made honors course going into the 6th grade.
Nice.
She loves to sing. She runs around and sings. Her two favorite things are singing and soccer. So
right. And what are some of her favorite types of music?
So her favorite artist right now is a woman called Aurora.
Oh, yes. Lydia has shared a couple videos on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's from Norway, and she's got this very kind of rooted, almost like, I know Celtic is the wrong term, but very that kind of tribal kind of earth grounded sound to it, and she's way out there. Yeah, this woman, but
I have checked some of her music out. That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. And I know I'm forever thankful to Lydia for introducing me to Keane. Yeah. Keane, one of my absolute favorite bands, Hopes and Fears, their debut album, the first album, is just one of the best debut albums I've ever heard. And of course, Tom Chaplin, the lead singer, has just this ethereal, amazing voice. And the thing I loved about Keane was no lead guitarist. You know, they were purely simple percussion, keyboards, and Tom on the vocals. And that Hopes and Fears album, of course, everybody knows Somewhere Only We Know. But Lydia introduced me to Keane and their whole, all their albums. And it's just an amazing band. Yeah. And I know Lydia's taste in music is a little bit eclectic, but I'm forever thankful for her to introduce me to Keane. It's just a great band. So maybe Lydia picks a cut from Hopes and Fears for you guys.
Yeah. She totally could.
Yeah, awesome.
But that has been a work in progress over many years.
Well, we really look forward to hearing some of that. Good. Maybe you could lay it down, and we'll get Lydia and Steve on the podcast, and we'll let you play a little bit.
Yeah, we could do like a little small desk tour.
Yeah, you could do it. Tiny desk with Paulie. Yeah. So you could dial in and.
That's why I said small desk. You got those copyright terms.
Well, there's only one Paulie, so I don't think anybody would take offense to that because they can't duplicate the accent.
This is true.
Steve, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for coming by.
Having me.
And, we really look forward to it. The name of the band, again, the music on the Spotify, let's give that one more time.
It's called Ghost Tone Echo.
Ghost Tone Echo. So check that out. And the podcast is on Spotify also. And we really look forward to checking that music out. So what do you think of Richmond, Virginia in this god-awful heat?
It's hot.
It's a different kind of a heat than Atlanta, right?
It's hot, yes.
It's got that swampy moisture to it. Yeah. So, but it's been wonderful a couple days here doing some business and learning, and appreciate you coming on the podcast, talking not only about your music and your background and talking about what you do for CFG. And we just appreciate the sponsorship on the podcast and really wish you all the success in both in music world and your buddy. And let's give a shout out. What was his name? Tony?
Tony McCullough.
Tony, we love Tony. Tony's the man. So, hey, we really appreciate everybody tuning in here. I'm just a guy from Paterson, New Jersey. So really, what do I know? And Steve, you're just a guy from originally
Chicago,
yes.
Illinois.
So what and you're a Cubs fan, so what do you know?
Exactly.
And I'm a Jets fan, so what do I really know? But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. But hey, please be kind. Please be very gentle. Be very tolerant. Remember, kindness is for free. Spread it around as much as you can. It can only make this world a better place. But once again, hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy from Paterson, New Jersey. Future podcasts, I delivered on the world famous Steve. Cousin Jack still remains AWOL. we love Cousin Jack, but he's got, one thing after another. But Cousin Jack's got to get on here. We're going to talk about government secrets, conspiracy theories, UFOs, UAPs, all this stuff that Cousin Jack just loves.
Interesting, yeah.
And he's so into it, Steve. He is so passionate.
Well, you got to let me know when that one's happening.
Yeah,
sure.
And he's got pages and pages of notes on his phone, and it's just going to be really exciting. So we're looking forward to that.
Sounds like it.
And then Just this morning, you met the world famous Jeff, the musical wizard. This morning.
I did, yeah.
So Jeff and Frankie T are going to come on a podcast, and they're going to tell Paulie all the things that he's wrong about. From the Beatles on down. So we're looking forward to that. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you so much.